Throughout life, we are conditioned to making goals, hitting goals, and then getting rewarded afterwards. Whether that be in some form of a candy, good grade, or a bonus, something along those lines, whether it was in childhood or now as an adult, doing all of these kinds of things for a reward. Now, we've been taught this way of thinking, and while it has its benefits of, getting things done and accomplishing things, I think it's the wrong perspective of looking at it. In fact, it can be very damaging. There are two consequences when it comes to seeking reward. You see, number one is complacency. I'm going to give an example of a little kid who is good at mathematics. His teacher comes up to him and says, "Here's this gold star, you're doing so good at math." Now, this isn't heavily researched, and it's more anecdotal evidence from what I could tell. This kid is less likely to go ahead and do mathematics on his own unless he gets rewarded for it. And a kid who was, say, let's doing really good in mathematics and didn't get a gold star would still do that thing because he loves doing that thing and he would get better at it. In turn, he wouldn't become complacent. The second thing is the lack of self-confidence. Let's look at the opposite end of this. There's a little kid who puts all his effort into trying to get the best grade he possibly can, but all he could result in is getting C's at the most. At this point, he is deflated from trying so much and from constantly seeing negative results and not getting rewarded as that one kid who's really good at math and naturally talented at it. Now he's just feeling sucky. He doesn't want to do it anymore, and he just burns out completely. Now, the fundamental problem here is not that rewards are bad and we should never reward people for the things that they do, but it's more looking at it in a long-term life perspective in which we see that effort is a better way and a better indicator instead of reward, or in turn making effort the reward instead of the reward itself. What I mean is that when you focus on effort, that is something that you could directly control. If you are constantly working at getting better at this specific thing or this specific hobby, and you're constantly working at it, it doesn't matter what the result is, if you get more Instagram followers or if you get a bunch of YouTube subscribers or if you get a pay raise. And if you are putting a bunch of effort and you're not getting a pay raise, might want to switch jobs. It's in terms of looking at it that it's a more healthier way of looking at success. Because you could control the amount of effort you put into something, it is far more better than just getting rewarded. It doesn't matter what outcome I get. I am enjoying this process in itself, right? You want to enjoy the process itself of whatever you're doing in life instead of seeking out a reward. Because in the long term, if you enjoy what you're doing, the more likely it is that you would be happier and you won't be seeking external validation for anything that you do. Like if you're putting all that effort into becoming the best hamburger McDonald's maker ever, then your life won't really lead to anything. And well, that could be the case. And I know a lot of older people's way of thinking is that if you work hard, you eventually get a promotion and climb up all the way to the top. And while that's becoming less likely the case nowadays, I will say it is about what you're doing, right? And why are you doing it? Why? Why are you doing this thing? Why are you putting so much effort into this? All right, let's take the baseline kind of goal reward and let's actually adjust it so that you actually get a better result when it comes to actually, I guess, accomplishing that goal. Let's say that your goal is, I want to lose 10 pounds. I've gained a bunch of weight. I want to lose 10 pounds. That isn't really an effective goal, first of all. It doesn't give you really a strong why. Okay, I want to lose weight. Okay, I think a bunch of people want to lose weight. Does everyone lose weight? No. And the reason why is because they don't have a strong why. And when you have a strong why, you get much more of depth and a reason to continue to achieve that goal. And instead of saying, I want to lose 10 pounds, when you're exercising, right? Instead of your why being, I want to lose 10 pounds. So like every time you hit the gym, you're like, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 10 pounds, which I mean, kind of don't think about when you're actually doing it. But the why instead would be, I'm exercising to live a longer and healthier life for longer. That is a much more powerful why, because you are trying to live longer and you're trying to live better and healthier instead of the baseline goal of trying to hit 10 pounds, right? It gives you much more depth and a much more clear goal of a long term instead of short term thinking of, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. And of course you could have that as like a sub goal. Like, okay, in order to live a longer and healthier life, I want to lose 10 pounds first. So not only does this encourage you more to pursue that goal, but it's also encourages you to keep it for a longer time. And so every time you go to the gym, you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to live a healthier life. And you get all these benefits in terms of accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So in order to get this, we do need that strong why that I mentioned. And a simple way and a quick way to get a strong why and a strong reason is take that initial, I want to lose 10 pounds goal and break it down. Ask why to that question. Why do I want to lose 10 pounds? Well, I want to lose 10 pounds to get better, or to look better. Okay, why do you want to look better? Maybe it could be to attract a significant other, or it could be, okay, so why do I want to lose 10 pounds? I want to feel better. Or why do you want to feel better? Well, I want to feel better because I get to move around and I get to feel better about myself, and I can have a better sense of self-confidence. And if you just keep asking why to those questions, you get deeper and deeper until you get something that's really meaningful and purposeful that would help you achieve that goal in a way. Another dangerous reason why chasing goals or chasing this reward is dangerous is because after we complete this goal and complete this target, we kind of feel empty for a little bit. We kind of feel like a loss of direction. Like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing here? We can feel discouraged in our journey. And in a way, effort helps out with that. Even if you fail and don't get the result that you want or the outcome that you want, you still take something with you, right? You take that experience of whatever that was. If it was a failed business, you know now all the things that you did wrong. So if you wanted to continue to make a business and wanted to start up a new business, do you know all the things that you did wrong in the first one to help you succeed in the next one? And with that perspective in mind, you kind of never lose, right? It's not about winning or losing. It's about taking something with you and growing from that in order to actually become a success or whatever you want to do in life and accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. And it's kind of changing that framework of, okay, dang, I put in all this work and it all went to the trash, because it didn't go out to the trash. You could actually take something and move it and learn from it, right? And the only reason that would actually count as a loss is if you did all of that and you learned nothing and you took nothing from that experience. So even if you put all this effort towards something and you found that you didn't get the outcome you desired, it's okay, because you could use that would probably pay in like dividends in the future. When you actually think about doing something that gives you a bunch of purpose and meaning in your life, that you kind of look at it through this perspective in which you would get much more enjoyment out of it, that you actually enjoy the process and you're not looking for this outcome of, oh, I want to make this much money or I want to have this much followers or whatever. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you're enjoying what you're doing. And if you love it, you're going to want to do it more. And that's just kind of like the best thing in life, right? If we want to live a life full of fulfillment, we want to spend the most time in things we actually enjoy doing instead of looking for rewards and either getting completely crushed or just moving on from it, and instead doing something more fulfilling and putting in the effort to become better. I know this video was a bit over the place. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.